What's up, you freaky folks? My name is Nick. Welcome to my channel. Whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. And if you're new here, every month I make lists of recommendations for all of our favorite streaming services. And even if Tubi does not always have the best movies, well, it's free, and I love that, and you probably do too. But I also love spotlighting some lesser-known movies, hopefully some you haven't seen or maybe haven't even heard of. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so. That way you stay up to date with what to watch and where to watch it. Number 10 is The Colony. This post-apocalyptic sci-fi thriller is set in a future where the world has frozen over after a deadly virus has ravaged the human population. A group of survivors try to carry on working against the elements, the virus, and each other. This is a pretty standard B-movie, punched up by the always great Lawrence Fishburne and Bill Paxton. And I remember watching this back when it came out and just didn't really care for it, but something about rewatching it during the middle of a global pandemic just hit differently, had a bit more of an impact. Now, I can't say that it's great, but if you're in the mood for some winter thrills, you could definitely do worse.
When the food ran out, the lucky ones found places like this. A place where life could exist underneath the ice.
But the truth is, one day, it started to snow. And it never stopped.
Number 9 is The Alphabet Killer. This serial killer thriller is based on the real-life double initial murders. Eliza Dushku plays a mentally unstable detective, who doesn't love one of those, who is trying to solve a series of child murders in which all of the victims have the same letter in their first and last initial. This is not even close to the true crime case. Hell, this movie isn't even listed on the Wikipedia page for the Alphabet murders. And honestly, it's not even that great. It's pretty mediocre. So why am I recommending it? It's basically about Eliza Dushku playing a crazy detective going around solving murders. Sometimes that is all that I want, okay? Maybe it is the type of movie that you're gonna wanna watch after your second glass of wine, but still, if it sounds like something you can get into, I say go for it.
I am a detective, Dr. Parks. I have a case to solve.
Why didn't you tell me you knew the victims?
Number 8 is Dark Waters. This mysterious horror drama is about a woman who travels to an isolated island populated only by nuns shortly after her father passes away. She's trying to figure out why her father funded the monastery on this island up until the time of his death. I don't want to say too much about this one because I think it should be seen as blind as possible, but I would love to know what you guys happen to think of Dark Waters, because it's the kind of horror film that I feel like no one talks about, but many more people should be talking about, and now I feel the need to make a video about horror movies that no one talks about.
For those who are blind shall see the true face of the beast, and forever suffer it in their soul.
Number 7 is Deadfall, a crime thriller featuring a stacked cast including Eric Bana, Olivia Wilde, Sex on a Stick Charlie Hunnam, and Kate Mara. A pair of criminals, a brother and sister, split up after a failed casino heist. While trying to evade the police, their paths merge at one very different Thanksgiving celebration. Another one I don't want to say too much about because the twists and turns and plot development are really what make the viewing experience. And I remember you can even just looking at the poster. I remember this going straight to VOD and just thought this was gonna be some basic garbage, and for some reason I watched it anyway, and I'm glad I did, because even though this feels like the type of movie that would probably be a hit back in the 90s, it still totally works. It's very entertaining and enjoyable, and again, has some surprises up its sleeve.
Hitch a ride. We can still make it to Canada.
What if you don't call?
Well, then I'm dead.
Number 6 is The Gate. This 80s creature feature is about a group of kids left home alone when they unwittingly open up a gateway to hell in their backyard. A bunch of small demons are released that plan on taking over the world. Can they stop them in time? Well, what do you think? This feels like one of the early defining PG-13 films, as it straddles that line of being a kids movie while also having its thrills. So if you're in the mood for a throwback favorite, The Gate is a silly good time that will definitely make you look at Barbie dolls much differently.
You got demons.
You mean you guys were serious about that demon stuff?
Number 5 is Sunchoke. Who's ready to get weird? Janie is a disturbed woman recovering from a psychotic break with the help of her caregiver, played by a batshit Barbara Crampton. When she becomes obsessed with another woman, Janie's recovery spirals into a full-on violent relapse. I love how the plot summary on IMDb is simply, Janie's just trying to get well. Like, yeah, we all relate, Janie. I've definitely recommended this before, and I'll certainly recommend it again, even though I know this won't be for everyone, because it's pretty slow and not a very rewarding film, but I do like this interesting take on the obsession/stalker thriller. I enjoy it, and you can too.
I know these tests are made for children.
That doesn't mean you don't have to show me.
I'm worried that you're not taking proper care of yourself.
Number 4 is Battle Royale. This Japanese thriller is set in a future where 9th grade students are rounded up on a secluded island and forced to kill one another over the course of 3 days. This is the defining movie of its kind. Every time I try to describe a movie like The Hunger Games, I call it a Battle Royale style movie, and it really earns its crown because it manages to weave its themes with the action of the plot in a way that makes for an engaging, entertaining, and thought-provoking viewing experience. Number 3 is The Children, a horror film about a group of people gathering at the English countryside for a holiday celebration when the children suddenly turn into vicious murder machines. Am I a month late in recommending this one to you? Absolutely, but I heard all of my favorites mentioning this around Christmas time, so I'm sure you all know it's an underrated gem. In case you missed it, it is still on Tubi and definitely worth a watch, unless of course, you know, you're a parent and have some kids, in which case, you might want to skip it. You might want to just move on from this one. I keep trying to come up with a For the Children joke because I've got WandaVision on the brain and I've got nothing. What is going on in Westview? I don't get what's happening. Number 2 is The Hunt. No, not the horror comedy from last year that everyone but me seems to love. This movie has actual substance. The Hunt is an Academy Award nominated Danish film about a kindergarten teacher who is accused of inappropriate contact with a student. The film follows the journey of a man trying to clear his name as an investigation tears his life apart. This movie is pretty damn perfect. It has been a minute since I've watched it, and it is still playing vividly in my mind because it is just that damn good. While the subject matter borders on disturbing territory, the plot explores what it means to be falsely accused in a nuanced way that doesn't come across as either ham-fisted or weak. I wish every movie took the same approach with their messaging, so honestly, I would recommend watching it just for a lesson in good storytelling alone.
Hvad har hun nu fundet på, den lille bandit? Vi har desværre anledning til at tro, at der er sket grænseoverskridende adfærd imod.
Du skal ikke høre på, hvad de siger.
Number 1 is White Bird in a Blizzard, and I can't help but say it right off the bat. I love this movie. Shailene Woodley plays a young woman who deals with her burgeoning sexuality as her mother disappears. As time goes on, she begins to understand life better as she processes her grief. This is based on a book by Laura Kosciuszko, which I still need to read. It's a pretty breezy hour-and-a-half film that is colorful with an amazing soundtrack, and I know this story won't fully work for everyone, I get that, but I have to say, this is a perfect example of my taste in film.
I was 17 when my mother disappeared. One day she was there, cleaning, making dinner, and the next, she was gone.
And now it's time for my bad movie recommendation of the month, because even talking Tubi and talking about a lot of bad movies, I gotta look at one especially bad movie, like a real piece of shit, you know? And I'm really excited to talk about Blood Surf. This creature feature is about a group of documentarians filming what looks like hours of surfing B-roll when a massive crocodile attacks and begins eating them one by one. You've got a bunch of people who are way too pretty to be doing the jobs that they're doing, running around this island in skimpy clothing with hilarious editing, bad acting, and some pretty cheap creature thrills. But I have to know if anyone else grew up on the Sci-Fi Channel, because this was on a lot, and I remember recording the edited for TV version, which is basically a different film, on a blank tape and watching it over and over, and I don't know exactly what I loved about it then, but rewatching it now, I know exactly what I love about this movie, and it's everything, because everything is terrible in this movie. But like I say, if you're into crocodile movies, watch it now, hate me later.
Blood surf.
Man, this is gonna be better than... What was the name of that shark flick?
Oh man, that has gotta suck.
That is my list of the best movies to watch on Tubi in the month of January. Maybe I should word it more like the most watchable movies on Tubi for the month of January, but either way, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it as always, and I just have to quickly say, I'm sorry this video is so late and my whole entire schedule is very backed up, so I apologize if I happen to spam your feed as I try to catch up over the next week. But feel free to follow me on Instagram where you can send me all of your requests, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, the notifications, just sit on my channel refreshing the page over and over, maybe keep like a playlist just playing on loop at one point, you know, just whatever works for you. This is all for you, so just putting whatever out there. But you know, that's it for this video, but I won't stop you from watching another.